What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of You Know What It Is. Hear me out. We have me, Rachel, retired flyer. We have Angel right next to me. Then right under Angel, we have Slat. And then we have our new friend, Ruben. Y'all may know him from 713 Sports. He decided to join us this week, and we are very much excited to have him. So we're gonna go straight into it. We have no watch along this week because the game ended at right before we got on. It was a devastating one that
Yep.
no one realized was going to happen, but it happened. So we'll go straight into the college playoffs, what's going on, and our expectations going forward. But first, let's talk about the games this week. Kind of sleepers -1, if y'all could agree with me on that one. I feel like the only exciting game this week that had me excited to watch was the Texas Arizona game, which in my head was going to be the one that was like, oh, this one Texas is going to blow them out the water, which they were at first. It was 17-3, and then Arizona woke up, and old Scataboo decided to wake up as well.
Scataboo!
Scataboo did the dang thing.
He threw for
And
a touchdown and everything.
Huh? Yeah, he threw it. What was his stat line? I think it was like 163 or 43 yards rushing. 60 something yards receiving, 43 yards throwing, 2 touchdowns. It was his stat line was crazy. With them losing, he still got the MVP. It was a fun game to watch, honestly. At first I was like, oh, this is boring, but then no.
Well, James was saying people were leaving after the first quarter.
Yeah, a lot
game.
of Texas. No, it was. I think they left after the Arizona State touchdown, like in the first overtime. I think that's what he said. I couldn't remember, but I hate that he was there and I wasn't, because that seemed like a really fun game to be at. And he was working the game. He wasn't even in the stadium. He was outside the stadium and got to watch it all unfold from basically the deck. But what were y'all's thoughts on this week's games? Whoever wants to start.
Well, I'm a big Boise State fan. Been Boise State fan since 2006, 7, 8. I forgot what year they won that bowl.
Oh,
But,
nice.
man, I didn't put money on them because I know it was gonna be a tough game. But man, like people were talking mess about Jonty, but he still went off. Man, he still put 100 and some yards on them.
Yeah.
And I think he was only the second player to put 100 yards on that defense. And they were stacking that line with 8, 9 people. So, shout out to Penn State. The Big Ten's looking real good this year.
Yeah. I was surprised that Big Ten might be taking over the playoffs in general, because they did really well last year as well, if I'm not mistaken. But Slat, what's your thoughts on this week's turnout?
I'm pissed off Oregon lost. I was a Duck fan, but you know what I'm saying? As a backup Texas fan, I'm lit. The Penn State game was actually pretty good to 10 minutes in. It was 17-14, and then I feel like it just one school was built for postseason and one school wasn't.
That kicker missed 2 field goals too. Trash.
Yeah.
I don't miss.
Same thing with Arizona State though. They went for it 3 times, turnover on downs from the Texas 20, 26, and 30. You kick those field goals. There's no overtime. You know what I'm saying? You guys might escape with the win. That call was targeting too, though. I ain't gonna lie. That was good.
So what's y'all's thoughts on every team that had a bye lost?
It's big.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I think Slat was saying this before, in our pre-show that, it's kind of different from the NFL, right? Those guys are just trying to get healthy, where these boys in college, they're at home and, who knows what the hell they're doing. And, to me, over 10 plus days of rest, I think it's too much in terms of NFL, right? Because I want the boys to stay locked in. If it's 3+ weeks, I mean, man, it is hard to, stay game day ready. And, the hype of these games, you could say, did it get to some of these boys while they had the time off? Were they listening to the podcast? Were they tapped into ESPN and all that stuff? A lot of things happen when it comes to, college football playoffs, man. And this is a tough look, right? The reactions from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook were like, this new playoff format is an absolute joke. I'm curious to think what you guys think.
So my whole thing on the bye week. So like you said, these kids are well, now we just established a couple weeks ago that these people are now men. Like these guys are now men because of the simple fact that they're getting paid. They're getting paid. Some of them are getting paid more than NFL players because of their NIL deals and everything else that's coming in for them. And like their scholarships and what the teams are offering them. So they're taking this off time and then they're just not checked into work when it comes to game time. All the teams that had a bye week last time they played was around December 7th. So that's almost a full month off. If you give anyone that is that age, like the 25 and below age, they're going to mess around. They're going to go home, see their families. They're not going to be focused on football. They're not going to be in the gym working out. Like they're just going to be goofing off, drinking, doing whatever they do, because in between that time, there was Christmas, there was the New Year, there was all these things that happened going into that. So they just aren't they're in my head, they're not in the mindset when it comes to these bowl games to be ready to play football. Rather than the teams that have been playing since week 1 of the playoff, like Texas has been playing since week 1. Ohio State's been playing since every team that's won has been playing since week 1, and it shows. They're ready. They're disciplined. They're trained. They're ready for all these games to happen. Everyone else that did have that bye week, they weren't. It showed they lost. Only argument that could be made for one of the teams is Georgia, considering Carson Beck got injured the first half. That's the only thing that you can kind of like justify in Georgia's stance. But other than that, not really. And I feel like that's the biggest flaw with this 12-team playoff is how much time these people are getting off before their first game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like there's some of those teams that, dude, we didn't need to see Alabama, all these people play. Like, move that in between those weeks, and then like we don't need to see all these games.
Yeah, there's so many bowl games that are televised. The only one that I'm not mad about being televised is the Pop-Tart Bowl. I'm putting a petition in for that bowl game to be part of the college playoff because that one,
everyone is
like. I'm telling you, that one, since last year, whenever it came on, the Pop-Tart mascot, man, he's hilarious. And now they had 4 this time that were just, they were on it. It was hilarious. It was fun to watch. And that game was also a very good game. Yes, it wasn't a playoff game, but every time I looked at the TV, we were doing my family's Christmas that day. Every time I looked at the team, it was either tied or 1-score game the entire time. And it was so much fun to watch. Just because of the simple fact of the Pop-Tart. And they leaned into it with the sideline markers, all the things that they did was just amazing. My TV just turned on.
Shout out to everybody in the comments.
Yes. Hey you, my name's Rachel, by the way. We had a comment up here earlier about Clancy said all the conference winners are out. Yep, they're gone. It's kind of upsetting to see just because we had high expectations for them, but we'll see what these quote-unquote smaller schools that aren't in the SEC, because everyone says SEC is king. It might not be. Because this Ohio State-Texas game is going to be really good. I'm excited about it. Okay, so any other notes on... Hot take, strawberry Pop-Tart flavor sucks. I agree. What's y'all's favorite Pop-Tart flavor?
Cinnamon roll.
Hot fudge.
What? Hot fudge?
The chocolate with the white ice one was always pretty good.
Chocolate with the white ice? Like with the white sprinkles, like the regular chocolate?
Yes.
That's a standby for me. My favorite one is the wild berry. Wildberry is a good one, but the best one is the Spider-Man version. If you know, you know.
Spider-Man version.
If you know, you know.
I will say this: I did notice as a former kicker, I saw a lot of missed field goals this weekend, and makes me think, man, if I was just 15 years younger.
What, you were automatic or what, bro?
They call me Mr. Automatic.
What was the longest field goal you had?
50.
Cap.
50. Get out of here.
Private practice, but no.
On video or no?
Oh, no, I was practicing by myself.
All right.
Picture
All
it
right.
didn't happen.
All right,
all the good football players.
We're gonna have to get this on camera, man. We're
All
gonna
the
see
good
you
football
get a
players
30.
were they're practicing. I was just kicking balls. Hence the
Yeah, picture it didn't happen, Angel. I was kind of hoping that you lost the fantasy league, so that would be your punishment. Because you're always in a group chat. I would have made it. I would have made that. Like, no, picture it didn't happen. I don't believe that you would have made it.
I did like that there wasn't a lot of opt-outs this year.
Only opt-out that I was I was mad about was Cam Ward's. Just because
I don't have a problem with it. He's the reason why they're there. You know.
But my whole thing is they would have won the game and would have like kind of boosted. Like, I know he has really good draft stock right now, but in my opinion, they were winning and then he left the game. I know the backup quarterback did very well, but at the end of the day, Miami lost by 1 point.
I just feel like that ruins it for like the NFL people. Not like, well, I played just half. That's weird.
That's my thing on, like, if you're gonna play. If you're not gonna play, don't play at all. Like, don't go in to go break a personal record or a team record or whatever record you're trying to break, and play the whole game or don't play at all. Because then you're leaving your legacy behind. Like, it's like your legacy for that team that you're just like kind of throwing out the window, or the team's legacy. Like, all these people that are kind of they're like relying on him for either the team getting paid, like the team getting more money from their donors, or more NIL deals go into these smaller wide receivers, like to these like not big name wide receivers and stuff like that. Like, they're relying on him because he's
get insured like the Colorado kids. They got insured before the game.
I mean, whatever.
They got spanked too.
Yeah, they got whooped. And they were heavy favorites too. I should have made some money there. I knew it was too good to be true.
That comes in to say with like the whole Heisman thing on Travis Hunter. What does he have that shows that he is supposed to be the Heisman winner?
He has a lot of snaps.
There's a lot of followers on Instagram.
And his girl Faithful.
Oh my
I don't know about his girl being faithful.
That's rough. That's a rough one because, for the millions that are laughing at him, half of them are exactly in Travis Hunter's situation. I'm not gonna say no names, but there are some boys in my, who I rock with who are in that situation, man, and not tough.
And I agree with Jalen Johnson. I would, if I was an NFL scout or whatever, people that help pick the picks, I wouldn't draft a quarterback in that whole first round.
William, we stole this one, bro.
There's not one quarterback.
Y'all stole
it from Kroger. They had it out in the back. We were just like, man.
So they had it like in the back for like in like the back of the.
It was like right, like slanted on the trash can, and I was like, hey.
Oh, then that's not stealing. That's free. You ever seen those videos of people like dumpster diving for like candles outside Bath and Body Works? It's just like that. They no longer want it, so now it's yours.
I wish McAfee picked me to kick the ball. I'll fake it, get a $500,000, and then make it with my eyes closed.
With your eyes closed, okay, and get that little paycheck for you.
Yeah, I actually was spotted with a man tight tail.
Okay, good question. Do y'all think Alabama deserved to be in the college football playoffs? No.
That answered itself.
What else weekend?
Yeah, with their loss they played Michigan, right?
Yep. Yeah. Jalen Milroe I don't know his name was.
Milroe. You're right.
So if you lose to Michigan, you don't deserve to be in the college football playoff because Ohio State's in there.
No, I'm not saying that, but
lost to Vanderbilt.
They lost to
Why we have like
their
Vanderbilt?
records
Oklahoma.
themselves.
Oklahoma.
Vanderbilt's not sorry.
But they're all like
Vanderbilt's
7 and
actually a sleeper
7.
team, in my opinion.
I would have rather seen Alabama than SMU. SMU going to Penn State would have put up a better fight.
I agree. I very much agree.
The bowl game, everybody's saying Milroe played bad. Did you watch the game? It was raining. He had fumbles. He was getting sacked. I'm pretty sure he had like 2 offensive linemen opt out and transfer.
The other team was doing the same thing, and they were putting up points. And they were trash all season. Well, they beat Alabama and Michigan, or Ohio State. So
Yeah, we want the right guard, Brandon. Tyler Booker, the right guard. That's what we need from Bama.
So my whole thing is, how are you going to let a 9-4 Alabama into the playoff? I feel like that's the answer to that question. They're 9-4, with their losses being. Hold on, let me. Be nice to me.
Vanderbilt, Oklahoma,
Tennessee was also in the playoff.
But
they're all on the road.
They lost to. I know Vandy. They almost lost to South Carolina. They lost to Tennessee. They lost to Oklahoma, and they lost to Michigan. So they were 9-3 at the end of the season. So were there any other teams with 3 losses going into the playoff?
South Carolina and Ole Miss
that are in the playoff.
Oh, that were in the playoff?
Yeah.
Just Clemson.
Just Clemson.
They won the ACC, so
that makes sense. So I say no.
They're not the same, since they don't hide that SEC money no more.
Yeah. Okay, do we want to switch over to the NFL playoff stuff?
yeah.
Okay. NFL playoffs. Sleepers versus non-sleepers, going into it with what we know now, who has secured their spot. Do y'all know who's all in it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so sleepers for me, going into the from beginning of the season, not knowing anything, going into the season and situations of the team. To me, the sleeper for the AFC is the Chargers. Because going into this season, they had a new head coach, not really knowing what Justin Herbert was going to do with that new head coach, stuff like that. I think they have kind of solidified they have Jim, right? Not his brother. Jim, not John Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think it's Jim.
Jim. So they kind of embraced his coaching culture and just took it and ran. I looked forward to all the Chargers games this year. If the Texans weren't playing, then the Chargers were on, just because all the games that I really watched them play, the Bills game, the Chiefs game, and the Bengals game, 3 games I was like, oh, these teams are going to go in and just clean house with the Chargers. No. Chargers, pretty sure they beat the Chargers, beat the Bengals. Bills beat the Chargers by a close margin. Chiefs beat the Chargers by a close margin. So that's my sleeper. My non-sleeper is the Bills. That did not surprise me at all. Them going into the playoffs, they looked fantastic this year. Josh Allen, with what we thought was no weapons going into the season, he did a lot with very little, in my opinion. James Cook was clutch for him this season. And then them getting Amari Cooper. Not Amari Cooper. Did they?
They did get Amari Cooper.
Yeah, whenever they got Amari Cooper, that was just okay, this is what they need to kind of sell into that's what they actually need. And that was it. For the NFC, my sleeper pick is the Commanders. I'm an LSU fan, so Jaden Daniels getting his crap taken care of going into his last game of the this past game, because they still have one more game to play. Going into this past game, he did what he had to do, and they won the game. Non-sleeper pick the Lions, and that's enough said. Dan Campbell for president. Okay, Angel, your sleeper, non-sleeper picks.
My sleeper pick for the AFC. Yeah, so same as you as the Chargers. I feel everyone else is pretty good, and the Texans they sleeping. But the Chargers they've been doing good. They have a good defense. Jim's really good. Got that run game going. I know. I used to watch the games with Justin Herbert. Man was throwing 500 yards just to even come close to tying the game. But now they're got that run game going. He don't have to be a superhero all the time. So it's good for them, and hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully they make it far. And then obviously the favorite. I don't think no one's picking the Chiefs, right?
I mean, is it wrong to like? Come on now, it's like they're 15-1, brother.
I am.
It's the most dangerous 15-1 I've ever seen.
It's the most suspect, but they get it done, man.
They got the GOAT.
Culture, dude. Culture.
And, got the GOAT.
For my favorite, I'm gonna go with the Ravens just because they're putting up so many yards, so many points. I can't even believe they lost 5 games. That's crazy. I know at the beginning of the season, the first games we were all in the group chat saying, "Oh, these guys are gonna go undefeated," just because the run game was deadly. But we'll see. Once they play anybody from the Chiefs or the Bills, that's when we're gonna find out. I think it's those 3 teams. And then over here on the NFC, I'm gonna go with the Vikings just because my sleeper is gonna be the Vikings just because nobody saw that coming with Sam Darnold. No one predicted it. I think maybe Tyler, the Jet boy. He's the only one that called it just because he played for the Jets back in the day.
Yeah.
And they're kicking ass, taking names. That defense needs to step it up though. But I mean, they could put up points, so that's good for them. And for my favorite, I mean, it's the Lions. Just plain and simple.
Yeah.
The record speaks for itself. They are missing Montgomery's, but Gibbs is looking like he don't need him.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do without Sonic and
Knuckles.
I was reaching for it, couldn't find it.
So
Slat.
I'm gonna go AFC. Technically, for me, I'm gonna go AFC sleeper. I'm gonna go Ravens as a sleeper, just because I feel like people are higher on the Bills and the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Justin Herbert fan, so I've watched every single game. I went to the Chargers-Cardinals game live. The defense, it's a fraud defense. It's a phony defense. As much as I don't want to say it, DBs are young. Derwin James is his best DB in the room with as a safety, but the DBs are 2 rookies. I mean, I don't like it in the playoffs. They might go beat the Texans. They can go beat the Texans just because the offensive line is beat up and the Chargers front 7 is nice, but to win the AFC sleeper, I'm going to go Ravens. And the favorite, I'm going to go Chiefs just because they got the young GOAT, Patrick Mahomes.
They got like the good juju.
The good juju. It's like it's the 6th time in a row where they have to go through Arrowhead. He's going to have all home games again.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to complain about the calls being made again. He's going to get to the Super Bowl again. So it's just, I feel like he's going to get this 3rd ring. The GOAT talk really should stop, but we're going to still have discussion. But once he gets his 3rd in a row, to me, it's over with. Because that first year against the Eagles, he didn't have a defense because it was like 36-35. Last year, they found a defense, and now it's like a little bit of both. So I feel like if he gets his 3rd ring, So NFC, sleeper, I'm going to go Vikings too, because if somebody would have told me that Sam Darnold would have had the team at 14-2, 13-3, I would have been like, no, you're lying. And then I'm going to go Eagles for my favorite for NFC, just because the Lions are so beat up on defense. And it's like, I feel like in the playoffs, the healthiest team wins. And the Eagles with Saquon, because not through Jalen Hurts, even though Jalen Hurts is missing time, they're running the offense through Saquon. And Saquon's a beast, man.
Yeah.
They're playing better with that 3rd string quarterback.
Yeah, not even Pickett.
Okay, Ruben.
Yeah, I think the sleeper for me, boys. I think it is the Chargers. You know, we all expected, the top four to be Kansas City, Baltimore Ravens, and the Texans, and that's ultimately what it came down to be. It just goes to show you, how bought in Jim Harbaugh has these Chargers players. And you also have to take into account why it's so special is, they are in Los Angeles. That's not a Chargers city. They have to fight for that representation, and they're doing a damn good job. I like that Slat brought up the defense because they are suspect. They are very young secondary, but when you have a quarterback like Justin Herbert, when you have a stud rookie wide receiver in Ladd McConkey out of Georgia who could just run any route in the book, you have confidence, man. They are my sleepers. And as far as who I expected to be here, I mean, that's Kansas City, the 15-1, the evil empire. I mean, these guys, we thought after the Patriots era was going to be over, it was going to be anyone's game, right? No, the Kansas City Chiefs has just showed that they are the next dynasty in line. In the NFC, I do agree with the Minnesota Vikings being sleepers. When you thought it was going to be the JJ McCarthy show, unfortunately, injury, and in it comes Sam Darnold. No one thought he was going to be playing like an MVP level. So shout out to head coach Kevin McConnell. Also, big shout out to defensive coordinator Brian Flores. He got those boys firing on all cylinders. Some two former Houston Texans on there, Blake Cashman and Jonathan Grenard. And, we're not surprised at all that the Lions are here at 14-2. And the job that they're doing with 20-plus people on IR is still just very insane. Dan Campbell gets these boys locked in, and, no surprise that they're up there at number 1.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be really it's going to be interesting seeing what this playoff's going to do. Like, we don't really have the bracket yet because there's still one more team needs to get in on both sides. The AFC conditions are very, very confusing to the naked eye. But so what do y'all think? Do y'all think the Bengals have a chance? That's just...
Don't they need like 3 people to lose or just one?
So they need to win, and Kansas City and the Dolphins need to lose.
And they're playing Kansas City, and they're playing all the backups. So
no, Bengals. Bengals are playing.
Oh, the Bengals, yeah, they need it.
We're playing the Steelers.
What
and
about
Steelers are locked in at 5, right? So I don't think they want to throw their starters out there.
Yeah.
who the Dolphins playing?
The Dolphins
Jets.
are playing.
Oh, they're playing the Jets.
They're playing the Jets.
And they're not starting anyone, I think. I think Tyler Huntley's going for them. Damn, if Cincinnati sneaks in, oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
No.
Cincinnati really has a chance. Like, the Broncos are going to be playing their starters because they have a real chance. All they have to do is beat Kansas City, and Kansas City is playing their backups.
They got Carson
Bengals-
Wentz as the backup. So
Yeah.
What does that mean?
hey, he has Super Bowl.
He was the
Young,
backup.
young goat. Young goat.
I feel like that's a stretch. I feel like that's a small
That's a
stretch.
very big stretch.
You do it again.
But like, so the Broncos are going to be playing their starters, but they're also playing Kansas City. I think they're playing at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Great stadium, by the way. The Bengals, they have a real chance to win. Steelers are not going to be playing their starters because they're locked in at 5. The Bengals will be playing their starters in Joe Shiesty, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and T. Higgins, which T. Higgins said that he wants to stay with the Bengals. It's a contract year for him. He's like, I'll get paid less. I don't care about being paid as a wide receiver 1 whenever I can be wide receiver 2 for one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Because Joe, he spreads them all out. So I really, like, there's a chance. There's a real chance that the Bengals can get in, and that's going to be absolutely crazy.
I'm gonna have to check the odds on that. Put some money on it.
Don't do it. Ruben, if you don't know, Angel is a black cat of the group. If he bets on, like, there was one time last year he bet on the Texans to win against the Jets, and they lost.
They were like 4-10, and I was like, no way, bro. How?
CJ went down with a concussion. It was a perfect storm of like unfortunate events happening, and
Almost
Angel
got kicked off. Almost got kicked off again.
me and Johnny were like in church cussing him out through text. Like, you have to stop. Like, do not bet on them. He's like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And then we get out of church, and then Tyler calls Johnny, was like, Angel bet on the Texans. He's like, he bet for them to win. And John's like, we're driving to Midland. Let's go.
We have this guy, and he's from New York, and he's a Texans fan. I don't know how the hell he became a Texans fan down there. Just lifetime New Yorker. Shout out to my guy Dom. He is winless when he goes to watch the Houston Texans play, and his record is 0-11.
Damn.
He went to 2 games this year, the one against the Jets and then the one against the Detroit Lions. And at one point, we all started getting mad at him. And we're like, this is a problem. And you know it's a problem. And it's like anytime we see him near a stadium, we know it's not a good sign. So, hey, if Angel's that black angel for you guys, man, we got one too, dude.
Someone said about the Chiefs and the dynasty. I got you.
Nah, but they'll win. You know, that's the thing, bro. It's
Taylor
like
Swift dark magic's too strong.
Nothing can penetrate it.
It is horrible what they're doing up there in Kansas City. I don't know how they're winning these damn football games.
I don't either. We were I think I have it in my notes from the last year. Like the way that they have won some of the games,
like
it's absolutely insane. The blocked kick for one game, the ball hitting the right goalpost and then going in. When any other scenario, if it probably would have hit the goalpost, it would have went out. We saw it for the Texas game. It hit the goalpost and went the opposite way. It's like, it's weird things like that are happening for them to win. And I saw a stat the other day. They are one of 5 teams that has scored less than 31 points in an NFL game this season, and they're the only one. Like, it's like the Patriots. There's a couple of them. Like, there's 3 other teams, and then there's the Chiefs, 15-1. Everyone else is like 3-12, and all these. Like, that was like at week 15. I saw that graphic. I was like, that's insane. Like, this is it. In my head, it doesn't make sense. How are they winning so much?
Just culture and black magic, man. That's all I could say.
Black magic. The world's on their side, and everyone in the United States.
And it shouldn't be. Like, I don't know why. Like, who the hell wants to go to Kansas City?
It's cold up there.
Oh, okay. We got Slat, raising the hand.
They say the barbecue's
is live down there at Kansas City, Slat, or what?
I heard the barbecue's nice. And listen, ever since I seen this guy, Patrick Mahomes, throw the football, I just know this guy is different. That guy's different. I can't say I'm a Chiefs fan because I don't want to be one of those guys. But I always, yeah, but I will always root for Patrick Mahomes' success. I'm not one of those guys who doesn't like him. Like,
I felt that way about Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Like, when I was little and the first thing I saw was him throwing the football, I'm like, this dude's a god. And like, no one could touch him.
I like them until they start comparing him to Tom Brady being the GOAT. And I'm like, all right, relax.
So why not though? Like, why not?
Talent-wise, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback to ever throw the football. Talent-wise.
Neck and neck.
It's neck and neck. I understand, the rings and everything. And in that sense, yes, he is the GOAT. But you're talking about who could place the ball in the most unfathomable situations. You look at Aaron Rodgers and think like, man, I might go with number 12.
Okay, but so we can think about it like this. They both have the clutch situations on their resume because Hail Mary Aaron, he did it to Dallas. But 13-second Patrick Mahomes, I don't know why people are forgetting about that. 13 seconds.
Yeah, 13 seconds. Was that last year?
I was like two years ago, I think.
Oh yeah, it was because I remember talking about it. But my nephews, their Christmas list, they put Kansas City stuff. I was like, hold on, your dad, your uncle, like their dad, both of their dads, they have 2 different dads. Both their dads, their uncle, my husband, and my father-in-law, huge Texans fans. If the Texans are playing, everyone's at one of their houses watching the game. They put on their list Kansas City shirts. So my husband calls them. It's like, okay, name one person on Kansas City that's not Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes. And they couldn't do it. I was like, y'all are just fans of them because your friends are fans of them. You're bandwagoners. You have no idea who any of these people are other than what you see, what your friends are saying. So needless to say, we got them Texans stuff.
Now, Ms. Rachel, you do know you're setting them up for them to be made fun of as long as they are continuing. Because I've been through this my whole life. I mean, we were dog shit, and I mean horrible. I mean, every time I showed up on the bus, you're a Texans fan. Ha ha. Dude, what about the Astros when they had 3 straight 100 loss seasons? You were made fun of for wearing stuff like this. And it's like, let the kids be kids, man. Give them an opportunity to fit in. But however you are building, that diehard fandom at such a young age.
Behind it. That's the whole thing. That like my husband's like, where's your loyalty? That's what he kept on telling them. Like, you are being fans of this team that you know nothing about. I get you want to fit in, but you live in Houston.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if they didn't live in Houston. They live in Houston. They live 30 minutes from the stadium.
You gotta take them to the tailgate. You gotta go.
We were season ticket holders last year for the Texans, and we wanted to bring one of them each time. But like, I wouldn't go, and my husband would take one of because we have 3 nephews. We wanted to take one of them each time. But we ended up not being able to because I wanted to go to all the games because why would I give up my ticket for some snotty kid? Not doing it. But yeah, they're not Texans fans. So
and that's what we're waiting for, Spencer, because when that moment finally happens and I see this team hoist up a Lombardi trophy, it's going to be the best day of my life.
Yeah, in our late 60s. Just
dude, stop it, bro.
No, I will say Johnny did sacrifice all of his teams this year for a Trump win.
We're gonna have to sacrifice Johnny.
I'll tell you this: my brother-in-law, his whole family, big Astros fan, even when they sucked. His grandpa did not get to see him be champions.
Oh man, that's sad.
And I think,
nah, don't do that.
You think you're gonna die before you see a ring?
Oh yeah.
Easy. Oh my God!
That's like no faith. What is wrong with you?
What are we doing here now? Okay.
What is wrong with you, Angel? I'm
about
cursed.
To get out of this. We're cursed.
How can they be cursed? Who cursed them?
I tell Cowboys fans all the time. You guys can be the best team in Texas, but I tell the Cowboys fans like, yeah, you guys will never. Just go on YouTube. That's the only time you guys ever see it.
Yeah, when the Chiefs lost to the Texans after being up like 20-something-0.
Oh yeah, that was really it. You guys were the first sacrifice.
That broke my heart, dude. That broke my heart.
You guys were winning 24-0, and then
that broke my heart.
The switch flipped, and you
guys lost the quarterback. I was there too. I was at that game. Fuck Niles Davis, right? Opening kickoff takes it to the crib. I always hated that man.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong too.
I hope you're wrong too, dog. Because we're not, we're not that far in age, bro.
We'll see how far I live. It's a long way to go.
Oh my God, brother.
The AFC is just loaded. You guys will have a better chance if you guys were NFC.
No, we don't, bro.
At least we'll win the division for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean,
look at the NFC, the 14-2 Lions, the 13-3 Eagles, the 14-2 Vikings, who are a wild card team. Then you look at the Rams 10-6, but you have a Super Bowl winning coach on that side in Sean McVay. And dude, I'll stick to the AFC, bro, because I know it's either gonna be Kansas City, Buffalo, but
hey, we beat the Bills. I don't know how,
we beat the Bills.
I feel like.
Did I bet on the Bills that game? Yeah, I did.
See, Black Cat.
No, I get the honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich at Whataburger.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right now, though.
That's a good one. No, I want Whataburger. Thanks for that.
Oh, Frank Z. Shout out, to my guy right there, Frank Z.
Thank you for that. I live in Louisiana. There's only 2 freaking Whataburgers where I live.
Dude, one thing that was cool about going to Louisiana is that all the gas stations have liquor in there that you could what?
You can get you a 5th or whatever you want when you walk into a gas
I was
station.
like, oh my God, I never want to leave. I was in Baton Rouge for a minute. I was like, this is fantastic.
Walgreens has liquor.
That's what I'm saying. Just bottles.
That's crazy.
You can get it wherever you want. Is it locked up? Yes. You have to wait for someone to come unlock it for you. That's fine. But yeah, they are very much, it's clutch for someone that drinks. And also, bars are open a lot later. You can take, depending on the bar, you can take the alcohol out of it and leave.
Those
Oh.
daiquiris, man.
What?
Drive-through daiquiris. That's where it's at.
Your daiquiri
And
like
there's
that?
gambling.
I was in Louisiana for a summer. I was doing sales out there. Every time we're done with the sales, bro. Saturdays we go get a daiquiri, get me extra large, put me another shot in there.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have a very bad memory with a extra shot daiquiri. That will be not be said on camera. It's pretty funny though.
Yeah, I'm a beer guy. So
Listen, I don't really care. You guys can think I'm fruity or whatever. It tastes good. I don't really taste it. I don't taste the drink. You know what I'm saying? I get drunk.
That's what we like to call it, sleeper drink.
That's what I'm saying. It just tastes like a slushy to me. It's just like I went to the gas station and got a little.
Angel saw me at a sold out, just slamming a 6-pack, watching Monday Night Raw.
I looked at him. I was like, damn, he's on like his 6th one.
Okay, let's.
I'm a weak drinker now. I can't handle nothing.
Okay, so with it being the new year and we're in 2025, let's look back on 2024. What is y'all's favorite sports memory? Any sport? We had the Olympics, we had baseball, soccer, basketball, all the things. What were your favorite sports memories? Whoever wants to go first.
Favorite sports memories.
I saw Angel. You're gonna like this one. Mbappe, PSG versus Barca in the Champions League. Mbappe, you know what I'm saying? Little that game. You remember that game, Angel?
Yeah, when they gave us a shitty red card because Araujo's an idiot.
I saw Mbappe get a brace. I like that. That was one of my favorite moments this year. Mbappe getting his brace against Barca. That's cute. Yeah.
I got one.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Let's hear it.
Well, I got two.
I
One
have two as well.
Just one WrestleMania 40.
Oh, you bastard! I was about to say that.
It was beautiful from start to end. We didn't have any complaints. It was awesome. We did the live stream. It was amazing.
That was a fun live stream. I remember that one.
We all freaked out when we thought John Moxley was coming out. We all looked at each other like, no, and then nothing happened. But that was one. Just the whole thing was good. And then two, Messi taking last place Miami team and getting them the highest points ever in MLS history and having that record and also winning the Community Shield for having the most points. Just amazing. And winning the MVP. I forgot about that. Oh, so many records. I'm sorry.
MLS.
So many records.
Of MLS.
So many records. Hey.
I could go play MLS.
No. Go. Pixar didn't happen. Okay, I'll do one of mine. Just because I was at this game and it was so much fun. The LSU win over Ole Miss. Never being ahead through the entire game to go and tie it at the end of the fourth quarter and then to win it in the first overtime. That was electric. It was a birthday those tickets were a birthday present from a couple of my small group. We went with them, got to go for free, was at the stadium all day. Probably one of my favorite sports memories to date, other than the 46-second Texans drive to win the game against the Bucs last year. Was there for that game as well. Not last year before that. But that's like an instant classic. I'll always remember that feeling of honestly wanting to leave the entire time because I was tired and hungry. But then, if it was more than a 2-score game, we would have left in the fourth quarter. But it was never a 2-score game in the entire game. And we were messing with some Ole Miss fans the entire time. And mine and my husband's marriage got blessed by a Coke head. So that was really fun as well.
He gave you a baggie or what?
Huh?
He gave you a little baggie or what?
Oh, we did watch him do a key bump right in front of us. It was pretty great.
I love it. Fantastic.
Okay, Ruben, what's yours?
Yeah, so I think the earliest one had to be, once 2024 started, and that was the Houston Texans versus Cleveland Browns wild card, just playoff blowout. And I think that was just, for me, like I said, as a lifelong Houston Texans fan, just to see that and all the, bullshit I went through the previous 3 years, which was 7 wins in 2 seasons. Like, you're like, finally, we're going to the playoffs. And then to see those
Yeah.
boys win offensive rookie of the year, defense rookie of the year, coach of the not coach of the year, but finalists for that. I'm thinking, we're all next up. That had to be a big one for me. Another one that I was a part of, it was at a Houston Texans training camp. We were waiting at like 7:00 in the morning to watch practice. And then it started raining like just an insane amount. Everyone was drenched, but everyone was just excited to see this Houston Texans team. So those were my, my two. Angel stole the WrestleMania one. I mean, we barbecued. I did a brisket and some smoked sausage for the boys. And when we heard that dong hit, right, when we saw The Undertaker, I mean, everyone just started screaming like little children. And, it just kind of brought you back like, man, these were the dudes that I grew up watching. And crazy, man. Those were my two favorite moments of the year.
Yeah. Another one that's always going to be fun is the Olympics. We get it every 4 years. We watch these pointless freaking sports that we were like, oh, I've never even heard of this. Then we're like thinking of like handball, for instance. Like the U.S. didn't have a handball team. So now me and Johnny are looking up how do we make a handball team for the U.S. Like
I think
we
so
played that
in Europe.
Yeah, we used to play that in PE whenever I was in middle school. I know how to play handball. Did I suck at it? Yes. I was just lucky and got on good teams.
The memes were great also.
Huh?
Like the memes from the Olympics were fantastic.
Yes.
Like the Pakistani sniper dude who, had one hand in his pot.
And then what's her name? The
breakdancer
from Australia.
Oh my god. They're like getting lawsuits because they're trying to make a movie about her. And she's like, no.
And all the controversies that came up during the Olympics, like about the opening ceremony, and then like
that water being full of dookie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, like testing the water and like
Curry's 3 to win it for for USA. That was a tough one too.
Yeah, it was like just overall like watching the Olympics, like that was all that was on our TV for the entirety of the thing. We didn't watch regular. We were just finding whatever was going to be on that we were interested in watching. We watched a lot of swimming, and we were rooting for Ledecky, and I forget the other girl that we were rooting for, but it was just fun to watch.
Is that the swimmer?
Memory. Huh?
Is that the swimmer?
Ledecky, yes.
She like skunked everyone, right?
Always.
And there was like this dude named Steve who was like a really good pole dancer or something. And every time he went up there, he just got automatic 10s and 10s, and he was like just a specialist.
Was that the guy with the junk in the trunk?
I don't know if it was that guy, but they were calling this dude Peter Parker because he looked exactly like like a Peter Parker would, and was just winning gold for USA.
There was a guy trending on Twitter.
Oh, Steven!
Yes.
Steven!
Oh, the guy with the
pommel horse, not pole dancer.
Yeah, it's the horse.
Well, I didn't know, like what to call it.
It was on pommel horse, and yes, he got the U.S. their first bronze medal in I think 12 years. The first time they medaled in 12 years.
Yeah, he's elite.
Back in
they called him Clark Kent of men's gymnastics because once he took his glasses off, it was.
And he only did one thing. He only did that one thing.
He was a specialist.
Just waited the entire event, and like they actually had a countdown, until Steve, hops on the pole. So it was crazy.
I Show Speed actually did like a thing with him, and he was like, "Dude, I don't know how you do that. I can't do it."
He was on Dancing with the Stars, and I think he won as well.
Damn!
Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, Steve,
man,
best friend Steve. Steve. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else that y'all want to cover before we get on out of here today?
Happy late birthday, Bron. Yeah, his birthday was on Monday. Happy birthday to the king, to the GOAT.
Dude, we had so many arguments in this crib about, my boy Jake, he's a LeBron hater. I mean, anything happens. Oh, he's on PEDs. He's this, he's that. Like, bro, it's bad, dude. Like how big of a hater is, and every time we start drinking, we always we start putting MJ highlights, LeBron highlights, and
I miss having always
conversations.
That comment said it's crazy that I was watching 2019 Watson highlights. I miss having a running quarterback.
Dude, and I did that after the Ravens game. After they whooped our ass.
Low.
I never drank like this after a game ever. But I was
It was
kissing
bad.
this, this Crown Royal green apple bottle just in like I'm like, we
Damn.
suck, man. And then next thing you know, boom, Deshaun Watson highlights. And I see the
Crying.
moment against the Buffalo Bills where he escapes the sack, finds Tywan Jones, and he's walking down with like this, and you're like, oh my God, the aura this man had when he was on the football field. Remember, he got kicked in the eye and
That was
still
crazy.
threw a touchdown. And then we know what happened, unfortunately. Shout out to, whatever, the D4, the booty bandit. But man, it was tough. It was tough, but
I wish CJ had that dog in him like that.
Yeah,
he's still young, bro. Like
he's
still
still
young.
young. He's fresh out of college.
Hey,
It's
he gets up
fine.
in all those hits, but man, it's like, dude,
His second most, and and then we heard Big Sarge say that he might be dealing with a shoulder issue, a knee issue. Second most sacked quarterback in the league, man. I will understand if he's pretty fucked up now.
oh yeah.
He's having tough times, but hopefully, like, I feel like this season, I hate to say it, depending on who they play the first round, they might not do very well. I think this, like, you can't really count on I would love to see a Super Bowl, but I'm not really holding my breath for it this season.
Mhm.
I say give it 2 more years.
I'm gonna do it like I'm not looking at the Texans. Maybe they'll do good. It'll be like this. Maybe
I
they'll
I
do
think
good.
give it about 2 more years and they'll be ready.
Before you have to pay
O-line
CJ.
help, they need a more stacked wide receiver room because the drop off from 3 to 4 is very large.
I mean,
from
the
their
drop
wide
off from
receiver
1 to
three.
2 is pretty large, man. Too
Yes.
also.
Until
Yeah,
he get hurt
so
running.
it's one of those things where they just need some help. They need to get free agents. They need to get some so I feel like they just need to get free agents. Trade away your draft picks and get like these vets that like they know what they're doing. You're not having to teach them the NFL culture and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So I feel like the recipe for success for them is to kind of do what they did last offseason again this offseason. Find who's available free agent wise, trade wise, stuff like that, and then get a couple people like ready for going into like future seasons, but a lot of people are looking at the right now. What do we need to do right now for next season and the season after that is get the free agents. Get rid of a couple players that you don't need at the moment. Like there's some people it's time for them to retire. Like let them retire. Let them be
Shaq
old.
Mason. Bye.
Shaq Mason, Laramie Tunsil.
Oh my! You're talking about Laramie Tunsil, the 5-time Pro Bowler? Are you serious?
How many times did we have
Laramie
to
Tunsil can take his
there
old
you
ass
are.
on. He can
There
take
you
his
are.
old ass off my team.
Dude, when this dude's not false starting, I mean, he's one of the
Yeah,
best
when
left
he's not
tackles
false
in the
starting,
NFL in terms of pass protection. Look, and you'll take all those false starts because when there's a Myles Garrett in front of him, a Micah Parsons in front of him, he is shutting them down. So I'll take those false starts any day of the week because I know that CJ Stroud is not going to get killed. Well, from the left side. Oh, I mean, Laramie, no. Laramie still got 5, 6, 7 years ahead of him, man. He's so good at what he does.
It's the false starts. It's the holding calls, which I get. A holding call is the easiest call to call, but how many calls can you say in one sentence? But
like Jalen said, despite the penalties, a top 5 left tackle. If he didn't have the penalties, we're talking about him might being, one of the best left tackles in the league.
But I'm telling you, if he took a shot every time there was a penalty and it was called on Laramie Tunsil, you'd be drunk by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, that Vikings game was tough.
Yeah.
But when was the last time you saw a false start on Tunsil?
Huh?
I said, when was the last time you saw Tunsil false start?
I don't know.
He's working
been a
on
while.
it, man. Progress, boys. Progress.
Yeah,
1% better every day is what
We
D'Amico Ryan
shouldn't
said.
see that in a 5-time Pro Bowler.
You're right. I 100% agree. But I just know that the Texans have 2 of the most sacked quarterbacks on the all-time sack list. David Carr is on there, and then I think Deshaun Watson's on there twice. So it's like you got to protect the QB, man.
Isn't Rodgers the all-time? He did that this weekend.
Like in one
He owns the
season.
record. He owns the
No,
record.
just in general. He's like a
Okay, I was like,
For what?
I think David got sacked
Being
like
the most
70, 80
Most
times.
sacked. I mean, the Jets O line, man.
Yeah, Howard's trash. I'll give you that, Gridiron. He
Yeah.
did not deserve that contract.
There was some people that we lost that hurt, and it definitely showed. But
Look, you guys are
like-
gonna hate it. We should have stayed at 23 and drafted Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU.
yeah, I agree with that.
Just before I die, I want to see my Texans win one.
Brother,
Angel,
I
you're
don't know.
30-something
Dude,
years
I'm gonna
old. You're not
commit
gonna be dying
crimes at
anytime
night.
soon.
I'm gonna
And
commit
messing with
felonies
World Cup.
at
Oh
night.
wait, that already happened. Never mind. My
Sure.
bad.
I'm breaking all the rules, man. I'm getting slaughtered. We're we're public
Johnny wants to
intoxicating
put it
down
in
here.
it.
Look,
Like,
I just want to say one thing about my Texans. I feel like 90% of our problems would be solved if we got rid of Bobby Slowick.
Of
That's all I'm
course,
saying.
You knew something was wrong when he took off his hat. He had no fade under there. You just knew this boy did not worry about his public appearance outside. Then he got a fade, right? And people were like, "Hey, man, you look good." He was like, "Oh, I didn't know people noticed." Yes, we do, because
Yeah,
you're
we
a
know
piece of shit offensive coordinator, and you need to be gone. And you know who needs to be calling plays next year, boys? I'm going to tell you right now, and I pray he gets fired. Mike McDaniels, bring me that crackhead from Houston. And I'm gonna tell you, this offense is gonna go just sky to the fucking
Ruben,
moon.
that is the best thing I have ever heard you say. We just
met, brother.
We
So
are right here, brother. We are right here.
Mike McDaniels is that dude, and he was on this staff when D'Amico Ryans was a player. They got chemistry. Let's make it happen. I've been praying on Miami's downfall for like 2 years already.
Well, it's looking like it's happening. 2 is one question away from getting forced into retirement.
Yeah, we gave him 2 of these nuts when he was here a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Hey, one last thing, and then I'm gonna not invade the show anymore.
We're almost done.
Mike McDaniel would be obviously the number one choice, in my opinion. If he doesn't get fired, dude, let's give Byron Leftwich a try.
You think they let him go in Tampa?
I think we could make him a generous offer that would make him want to leave. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't mind
Nick
it.
Caserio's not scared of spending money, and we've seen that. I don't know.
It just sucks that we thought we were gonna have one of the best offenses in the NFL, and just shitty.
Yeah, my whole thing is with the Bobby Slowick thing. What he's so predictable. You're gonna do a run, screen pass on 3rd and long, and then punt. That's what it's been.
No, that's
Yeah,
bullshit.
we see some like surprising plays, but it's been very like run, throw.
Right there, Gridiron. That's when Gridiron has the comment of the day. I knew when CJ Stroud threw his helmet in Green Bay that we were cooked. Yes, absolutely. He showed you right then and there that he was upset with the offensive line. They were getting them hit, and now we're seeing a product of that, right? That's why when people bring up CJ Stroud, a sophomore slump, he's the last thing that I talk about when I get to what's wrong with this Houston Texan offense.
Yeah.
He's the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL. You had 5 weeks straight where you were facing a career high in pressure rates. It was week after week after week after week, the most he's ever faced. Dude, I would struggle. Anyone would struggle behind that offensive line.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to produce what the whole team wants you to, what the whole city wants you to, and what these guys on ESPN, Pat Mac, like all these guys are saying. Like they're wanting CJ Stroud to do all these things, but he can't with his bad OC, like his OC calling crazy calls that aren't gonna work. And then like that one call that they like did a trick play for CJ to get thrown the ball and run for a touchdown. Like what was that? And then you got there's a supposed to be pass interference call, but no, there was no pass interference because he was the quarterback.
Sucks, man.
It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense, Bobby Slowick. You're trying to do cool things, you just can't do it. Stop. Go somewhere. Go be head coach somewhere else that doesn't even care about their football team. Go be head coach for the New York Giants or something.
Mike McDaniels, baby. It's about to be a new vibe.
Give him to us. Come home.
Oh my God.
Please. But I think we're done before we get too upset about the Texans. But last thing, like always, like, subscribe, and comment on all things Athletically Declined. Our new friend Ruben, he's not really new to Athletically Declined, but new to Hear Me Out this week. He's our guest, and if he ever wants to come back on, let me know, and you will always have a seat in our room. And also, we have a new Instagram that we just made for our wrestling people, Talking Turnbuckles. Our friend Angel is one of the main people on that show. I don't know if Ruben, have you been on a couple?
No, I don't think Angel wants me on there.
He was on there last night.
I don't think.
Yeah, I know you're on there last
Dude,
night.
I was so hungover yesterday too. That's why I wasn't on.
From what?
From drinking. I was up to like 6 a.m., dude. But I also didn't have any of my equipment with me because I was supposed to drive in yesterday. That day. I slept all afternoon.
Either way, go like their new Instagram so they can start going live and do all their live watch-alongs on Instagram and stuff like that. It's been fun. Great first Hear Me Out of the year.
Oh, I just noticed that. Wow.
Yeah.
Our first podcast of the year, and it was in another show. Wow. I feel like I betrayed my wrestling brothers.
Yeah. You'll have to talk to Johnny about that one. But it's been fun, guys. We shall see y'all next week when is next week a bye week for the for NFL?
Only for the Chiefs and
for the Texans.
and Lions.
Oh, so everyone.
Why you gotta say it like that, dude?
Like what?
No, I know.
Not for
I
the
just got that
Texans.
criticism behind that
Angel?
comment.
I'm gonna put $500 on the Texans next week.
Oh my god!
Angel,
I got
will
y'all.
drive
I
to
got y'all.
Brooklyn and fight you. I know you have about 7 inches on me.
One touchdown
Height-wise?
from the Nico Williams or Nico Collins. My bad.
Nico Williams. Let's do it.
That's a soccer player. Sorry.
Fight this kid. I'm gonna fight you. Okay. Well, y'all have a great night, guys.
All right.
See y'all next week.